One of our clients, Chantel, got her clinic fully booked by running this principle. People inquired on an ad for a skin solution. She called them the leads straight away. She increased her profitability by 15% in 1 month by doing this. It's insane.
We were spending like $100 a day on ads, and like I was a well-recognized figure in our local area. So much so that Steph would get so pissed off with this. I'd get recognized everywhere. I go to JB Hi-Fi, someone working there would be like, oh yeah, Tim, you're the guy with the Ram and you live around the corner and you live at 75 Bridgewater Drive and you got 2 Rottweilers and... Welcome to episode 141 of the Success School podcast. Today we've got a teach and it's titled How to Sign 20 to 40 Clients per Month for Your Service Business. We're going to give you guys the complete system today.
The truth is that most service businesses are stuck in what we would like to call the referral trap. So that's inconsistent, unpredictable, unscalable. This episode gives you the complete system. So how to get the lead, how to convert the lead, how to deliver and retain at scale. There are 3 parts and each one builds on the last. And one of them is around paid advertising, which we think is like a missing component in so many of the service businesses we look at.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get into personal updates. So I'll start off with mine. So every Monday, Steph and I do our weigh-in. So we do our body KPIs. And my results this morning were fantastic, mainly due to the shit I'm taking called Redder, which is fantastic. So I'm down 8 kilos in 5 weeks. And I think I lost like 3% since our 3% body fat on the naval body fat assessment since. And just turns out that eating less works. So you actually lose weight when you eat less, which is absolutely crazy. And you guys have probably never heard that before. Steph, you've also been on a bit of a fitness journey lately and it really ramped up today, didn't it?
It did ramp up today. But before I dive into that, I want to say it's the shit you've been taking and also the shit you've been doing.
Yeah. Like shits?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Tell them about that.
Tim's had food poisoning for about, 9 days now. Yeah. So, along with the fact that he's taking a whole host of different types of, I guess, hormones and chemicals compounds in his body. Compounds. That's the right way of saying it, isn't it? Compounds. Yeah. He's also been compounding our plumbing system as well. So, yeah. I mean, that's great. You're looking amazing.
That's a good joke for you.
I am jealous, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Because we eat, I would say the same, but like I would say I would eat less, but you've been eating less because turns out you just
be
pretty sick. Yeah. And I haven't had the same results. But my personal update is along a similar vein. About a week ago, we became almost professional runners.
Yeah.
And 6 days later, we've retired.
Yeah. Running's not for us.
I think we could have been runners in another lifetime.
What happened? Tell us.
Okay. So we started running. We were doing a running challenge. I think we even spoke about it on the last podcast, which is embarrassing and hilarious. So we were doing a running challenge. You start with 1 kilometer the first day, 2 kilometers the second day, then you go back to 1 on the third day, then you do 4, then you do 3, and then 4, and then you go back to 1, and then you do 5, and then 6, and you go back to 1. Anyway, we got up to
4. 4 kilometers we got to.
We got to 4 kilometers. And we decided that running was not for us. So the problem with running, look, I can make 100 excuses under the sun. 1, we're not good runners. It's just not for us. 2, Koh Samui is a hard place to run. I'll be really honest. Like, I was running in Bangkok and that was a bit easier because it was a beautiful run track. It was a park.
You're just a runner? You're just running in all these cities
around
the world?
Now, yeah. So just
go places
kind of like
run.
High Rocks, but for running.
Yeah.
But Koh Samui is really tough. Like, it's hot. There is no flat road. There's only the road. So you're basically just getting hit by cars like almost all of the time.
Yeah, just getting hit by cars all the time. Just so many car crashes. So many cars that hit us.
And then
that's why we don't run.
The sun.
Yeah, the sun. Man, it's hot here.
Anyway, so the point is we've retired and we're moving back into just training what we always have done. So that's good.
Yeah, guys, and just a cheeky little plug here to our sponsor, Success School, our company, sponsor ourselves, guys. If you guys run a service business and you want new clients coming in every single week and you're relying on referrals like the stuff we're talking about in this episode, book a scale session with our team. We'll show you exactly how businesses like yours get fully booked and stay fully booked and can actually scale, keep their staff happy, make money, like do all that good stuff. So you guys can grab the link in the show notes on how to book that in.
Let's get into today's episode. So we have 3 parts to this episode. We're going to be breaking down how, as a service business, you can sign 20 to 40 new clients per month for your service business. Now, let's talk about the first thing. Before we even get into paid ads, let's talk about the real pressing issue here, is that most service businesses rely on referrals, right?
Yep.
And referrals can dry up pretty quickly.
Yep.
And they are unsustainable. They don't allow you to grow and scale predictably. Why is it so dangerous to rely on referrals? Talk me through that.
Yeah, at some point, your referrals just cap out. So I feel like referrals work really well when you've got a warm audience.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you start going colder and colder and colder, they eventually just cap out. And it's too inconsistent to grow a business. We see our clients in Success Call, the ones that master paid ads, or they at least attempt paid ads, do far better than the ones that don't, because they're just relying on referrals to come in all the time. And referrals get less and less when the economy gets less and less as well.
Yeah.
I've just found that when there's economic contractions, referrals do dry up. And then, let's talk about the fact that if you're doing a pivot of any sort and you don't have any of those people that you want to pivot into in your warm stack or your warm audience, it's very hard to get referred those people
Absolutely.
as well. So if you're making any kind of business change where we're in the time of business change at the moment with AI is absolutely wrecking the world. So you kind of need that other source of bringing people in. Basically, you've got 3 ways to grow your business. You've got outreach, you've got content, and then you've got paid ads as well. So most people are doing content. People feel a little weird about doing outreach, and paid ads is really the one lever that a lot of people need to pull on more. So there are a couple of ways to do this. Steph, you just want to talk us through the 2 methods here? Essentially, we've seen these work in a bunch of service businesses for hours.
Yeah, so it really is dependent on the kind of service business you run, but, a really, really good place to start with, if we're looking at paid ads, if we're looking at being able to predictably scale your service business, you do need a paid ads funnel, because paid ads is the only way to guarantee that every week you will get new clients. You can't rely on Instagram because the algorithm's up and down. You can't rely on referrals because they only have outside of your control, right? So paid ads is pretty much the only way of doing it. The best paid ad strategies, I think, like what Tim said, there are 2 here. The first one is just a freebie. Now, the way that the freebie would work, it probably wouldn't work for it could work actually. I was going to say it wouldn't work for a beauty business, but it would. I actually think a freebie could work for a beauty business. The freebie on the front end has to be directly tied to your ideal client's number 1 problem. So let's say you are in a beauty business or you are in a skincare business. A freebie could be a downloadable or a training or a free masterclass on how to overcome acne for, women in their 30s that are embarrassed going to their professional job because they have acne, right? And the reason that something like that would work so well is because it's calling out professional women who have full-time income. Women who are older with acne are going to be more embarrassed than younger women with acne. So they're going to have more of a pain, be more inclined to take action. These people have the money. And so you've created this thing that only those women are going to click. And therefore, anyone who actually downloads that thing, who gives you their name, their email, and their phone number, is obviously going to be a really good fit for your offer. Now, this could apply across any service business, literally anything to even oven cleaning. Literally any kind of business could apply the freebie lead magnet, which is, a front-end free thing that gets people into your world so that you can continue to contact them and then hopefully get them in as a new client.
Yeah. So that's a far cheaper way of doing it. The other way that I'm going to tell you about in a second is a lot more expensive, and that's basically a direct offer. Okay, so you run some kind of promotion, some kind of money off, some kind of deal, some kind of challenge, whatever that may be. The problem with this, if you're in a saturated niche, is a lot of other people will be doing this as well. The benefit of the freebie way is you're building a list, which is great. Building a list is great if you contact your leads, and I'm going to get into that now. When I say this to a lot of coaches and consultants, they have a mini aneurysm. I'm like, contact your leads. And they're like, no. They should just be buying my shit because they downloaded my thing. But coaching, service, whatever the industry, it's a relationships game. So you have to build relationships with people. So it's the Google 7-11-4. You need 7 hours of content, 11 touch points through 4 channels. Okay. And if we just go through the channels here, that can be social media, that can be email, that can be text, that can be call. There's probably some more in there, but there's 4 channels there. So you really want to be thinking about hitting the leads or just contacting the leads or providing value in multiple ways. And service businesses are more okay with contacting the leads, but when you say that to a coach or consultant, they're like brutally offended about contacting leads.
I think that it's interesting because service businesses are so good at this for the most part. If you're a service business and you're not calling your leads, you are 100% literally doing them a disservice.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even tell you, if you're expecting somebody to put money down to work with you in a service business, wouldn't you provide them with the service, the service of contacting them? Like, yeah, I think you absolutely need to be contacting your leads if you're in a service business. And if you're a coach or consultant, you're also a service. Like, you're offering a coaching service. So not contacting them is just crazy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Tim. So let's talk about ads. If you were a service business or online business, how much should they be spending on ads?
Yeah. So, a good starting point is $50 a day. If you can get $5 leads, that's 10 leads a day. If the download or lead magnet that you're giving out is great, you should be able to reach at least 5 of them, have conversations with them, and then, hopefully offer them a solution from there. So it's a good place to start. The problem with that is like, you've really got to know what you're doing in the ads manager. You've got to have a strategy. We've obviously outlined some strategies here, but there's like the button pressing, there's the creative, there's the copywriting, there's the like, what do I do with the leads once they come in? There's a lot of other things to consider here, but $50 a day is really good. Steph, give us some examples of what type of businesses this works for. Like, what type of service businesses does this strategy work for?
All of them.
All of them. Yeah.
Like, we have helped everybody from, I'm like, this is no joke, guys. Like, we have had people who are literally like beauty businesses that sell high-end skin solutions, all the way through to like toxic mold naturopaths that have sold $10,000 packages direct cold to sold. We've had people who teach people how to write books. We've had a water bore drilling company who was able to 3x their revenue to hundreds of thousands of dollars per month by running one very simple Facebook ad. And the reason this works so well,
like it was legit water gushing out of the floor.
Dude, like, the craziest part is that for service businesses, right? Like, for coaches that are listening to this right now, you guys, it's hard, man. Like, everyone's marketing. Lots of people are running ads. It's pretty flooded, right?
Yeah.
Service businesses, no one's running ads. Like, people just aren't doing it.
Yeah.
So when you especially if you run a local business, like if you run a local business ad, you can just clean up so fast. Like, you became Mr. Joondalup, which is in a local area in Perth. Like, literally anywhere we went, people would be like, "Oh, Tim Frey, I see your ads." Like, literally anywhere we went, and it didn't cost us hardly anything. Like, we didn't have the budget.
We were spending like $100 a day on ads, and like I was a well-recognized figure in our local area. So much so that Steph would get so pissed off with this. I get recognized everywhere. I go to JB Hi-Fi, someone working there would be like, "Oh yeah, Tim, you're the guy with the Ram and you live around the corner and you live at 75 Bridgewater Drive and you got 2 Rottweilers." And I was like, "What?"
We couldn't go for coffee. Like, every time we went for coffee,
crazy.
People were like, "Hey, Tim." And I was like, "Who's that guy?" You're like, "I don't know." Like, it was all the time. For $100 a day, guys, if your goal in this lifetime is to be a household name, run local ads and you will become a household name. Like, it is crazy.
Get micro-famous in an area.
Micro-famous. But truly, it works for, I haven't found, and there have been some, like with the water bore drilling company, I was like, will this work?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, this feels a bit out of our remit of being able to support. Nope, worked completely. So we're yet to find a service that this doesn't work for.
Yeah.
So what do the ads even look like? If they were planning on running $50 a day to ads, what are they? What kind of ads?
Yeah, so ads, first thing you want to do is just go on Facebook ad library and then just search like USA, Australia, just search your niche and then just get examples of what like the creatives and everything looks like. But essentially you just want to think about what the main problem is, what the solution is, and then a call to action. You can use something called the AIDA principle. That's AIDA, and you could pump that in Claude, ChatGPT, whatever it is. And you could say, "Hey, here's my demographic. Here's my niche, here's my offer. Can you write me some ad copy?" And that's just a really good way to start. You'll get ad copy. Then you just need to use a tool like Manus, or you can hire a graphic designer or whatever it is, just someone from Fiverr to make you some creatives. And you're off to the races. You've got some ads. Like, it's very simple and easy to do. But I think a lot of people try to reinvent the wheel here, and you just really need to find examples of probably companies in America. Australia, there's just not that much going on in ads, just that you can model to get started. I just want to say here, guys, if you want to get this set up in, I'm hypothetically going to say 7 to 10 days, I'm definitely your man and I can help you out with this stuff. So if you want to send me a DM, I can help you get this paid ad system set up. Let's move into part 2, the sales system. So let's assume that they've got these ads set up. They want to get 20 to 40 new clients every single month. someone's raised their hand and said, hey, I've got the problem that you're advertising. What do they do then?
Yeah. So this is where the most important thing is speed to lead, to be completely honest. Especially if you're in a service business, because it's likely that and I just want you to, if you're listening to this podcast, imagine yourself right now when you are looking for a service. Let's say, I just recently wanted to get our couch cleaned. Okay. So I've been looking at all the different couch cleaning companies in Samui, and I have reached out to 4 different couch cleaning companies to get our couch cleaned. Okay. So who do you think I'm going to go with? Probably the one that comes back to me first. Now, so far, there's been 2 that have come back to me and 2 that haven't even come back to me. So immediately, the 2 that haven't come back to me in the first 24 hours, not on my list. I'm definitely going to go with one of the 2 that have come back to me because the customer service is there. So there's more trust built. Now it's really a game of pricing and service and quality, right? And so if you want to win the client, the best thing you can do in a service business is show that you have capacity to service. And showing that you have capacity to service is getting them on the phone, contacting them. You can do this in bounce back automated emails. You can have online quoting software. There's so many ways that you can automate and even, delegate this process, but they should not be waiting more than, in an ideal world, 2 to 4 hours at most. But if it's 12 or 24 hours, that's okay too. But if you've left it more than 24 hours, the chance you're going to get that lead to purchase from you is you dramatically lower.
Guys, I'm going to give you a little bit of a free game here as well. So I built a gym, Helix Gym in Perth, before I sold it to $96,000 a month. And it's in a extremely competitive area. I'd say there were 30 gyms within 5K. So it was so many gyms. I would, without a doubt, say we were making the most money by far, probably double, the nearest competitor. And I'm going to tell you guys how I actually did it. All I did was I ran Facebook ads more aggressively than everyone else. And as soon as we got a lead, I got an auto text to my phone that said name, email, number. I called them immediately. As soon as the text came in, it would be 8 at night, 9 at night, and I was calling people and booking them in for sessions.
We would be driving in the car on the way to an appointment, and Tim would be taking calls in the car. It was, and it's, guys, it's not hard. If you're listening to this and you're oh yeah, but that sounds difficult. It's not difficult because you are doing nothing anyway. If you're driving in the car, you may as well be making money.
Yeah, you
right?
may as well just call them.
You may as well just call them. It's a 10-minute conversation. You get them booked in for a consult. It's the simplest thing ever. One of our clients, Chantel, she also got her clinic fully booked by running this principle. People inquired on an ad for a skin solution. She called them the leads straight away. The leads got booked in, and she increased her profitability by 15% in 1 month by doing this. It's insane.
That's crazy. All right, so let's say they've got them on the phone, Steph. What kind of happens there? There's a bit of a 4-step process here for the call and how it should go. Can you give us that 4-step process just so they know how to handle the next section?
When we review most calls in this situation, the problem that we most often see is that you go into some crazy monologue talking about your service and what it includes and, how they can get started and the price points. And it's kind of just this wave of information. And it's kind of if you went to the doctor with a headache and then they started telling you that you probably have an aneurysm. It's oh no, hold on. Well, shouldn't we do some testing? Shouldn't we do an MRI or I don't know, do some other stuff first before you just start blankly assuming I've got an aneurysm, right? It's really, really similar when you are running a service business, okay? If you get on the phone and you just start rattling off all the things you can help them with, they're going to be well, I didn't really ask for any of those things. So the first thing you want to do is you want to diagnose before you prescribe. So the way that you diagnose is you ask them a lot of questions. Get as many questions as you can about the situation, how long have they been in the situation, what outcome would be ideal for them, and then provide the solution. Well, this is exactly why this solution that we've got is perfect for you. So that's the first step, is diagnose before you prescribe. The second part is presenting the solution only after you understand the problem. So similar to what I just said. Then you want to tie the outcome to a number. So in an ideal world, this literally works for any type of service business, but in the example of a gym, you want to tie the outcome to a number. So thinking you want to lose X amount of kilos in X amount of time frame. Yep, that's totally possible. Here's how we're going to help you be able to do that. And that could be the exact same thing with a couch cleaning. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to come in and we're going to get it done in 1 hour. It'll be dry within 3 hours and you'll be having a fresh smelling couch, all nice and clean by the end of day tomorrow. And it's okay, cool. Well, that solves all of my problems. And so you want to tie it to a number. And then you want to handle objections with questions. Do you want to talk through handling objections with questions? Because I think this is really smart and really a really missed opportunity because most service businesses see objections as like they get defensive, right?
Yeah. So let's do a gym example here. So let's imagine that Steph's a client. She's on the phone and I'm like, all right, cool. So the service starts from $50 a week. And then they say something like, oh, I can't afford that. And then a good like reframe or rejection handle for that is like, well, how much were you looking to commit to your fitness every single week? And then they'll give you a number, and then there'll be a gap between the number that they present and the number of your offer. And then you can start to handle that in like, what are you spending right now in your lifestyle? And then they're usually going to be like, well, probably about $50 a week. And you're like, okay, cool. How many times a week do you eat out? And they're like 3. I'm like, okay, what do you have when you eat out? And then essentially you just want to find a number that's quite great. You'll find that most people, they'll have an expendable income that they're spending on shit like beers, cigarettes, fucking usually just nonsense. And that equals into the hundreds of dollars. And then eventually you just want to reframe and just be like, look, if you took that $20 from the $300 you're spending and then put that into your health, how do you think you would go with the XYZ goal, which you told me you were interested in at the start of the call? And then you can reframe it that way. Then from there, if there's still like a bit of a no, you can push for like a trial or a free or whatever it is, or you could sell them something else from there. But that's a cool kind of reframe or a way to handle that. I'm going to move into the text messaging cadence. So you want to think about following people up. And I said this on a few podcasts, but you want to follow up like a thirsty ex. And I do mean that. I think most people underdo the follow-ups rather than overdo them. So I'm pretty hard on speed to lead. So the stat is you're 327% more likely to close a deal in the first hour of someone submitting an application form to you. So call them immediately. If you can't do that or your team can't do that, then text messages are great because a lot of people, they can be scared of getting on the phone. So day one, I usually send a personalized, short, direct message. You can do voice message. You can do video message as well. Make sure you say their name. Make sure you like reference things from the application if they've applied to work with you. Day two, a bit of a value add if they haven't replied yet. Like, hey, saw you inquired about X. Here's this free value. Day three, these are all 24 hours apart. Just follow up with a bit of urgency, like, hey, we're running this deal at the moment. It ends whenever it is, like scarcity on that. And then day 4 and 5, just be like, yo, you haven't replied. That's cool. Let me know if you're still interested. And then day 5, you could say something like, hey, I know you're busy. I'm going to leave you alone now. Last chance, let me know if you need anything. So 5 days of follow-up on text message is great. I'm just going to hit the call frequency just while we're here. This is really simple. I attempt 3 calls in the first 48 hours. Don't leave a message. Just call them 3 times in the first 48 hours. And then after that, every 2 days until the 5-day mark post.
Let's talk about this for a sec. With the gym, when we own the gym, and even with the events business, actually, I can talk through it. Talk me through like, at what point in the text message sequence did you typically find the most replies?
Usually it was towards the end of a week. Like it was a week of trying and people would be like, this dude's persistent as fuck. So I'm going to start replying to him. And that's where a lot of people give up. And I've told this story 100 times, but I emailed a guy for 10 years before he purchased a membership. 10 years of emailing someone before they purchased a membership from us.
And not once did that guy unsubscribe or think Tim's a needy motherfucker or think, oh my God, like this guy's pushy. Not once. He just wasn't ready for 10 years, which is okay. In my events business, I found that they would inquire about, doing a workshop with us. And then I would send them back the contact stuff, all the information they wanted, and then nothing, ghost, right? It wasn't until the 3rd reply, typically, that we would see that people would like start coming back. Oh, so sorry, I've just been busy. So most of you were just underdoing the follow-up situation, for sure.
Guys, we have a little bit of a program inside Success School called Sales Machine. We actually cover all of this in that. We give you the infrastructure, we give you the scripts, we review your scripts, we give you the text messages, we give you everything. So if you're thinking, that sounds a lot or that sounds hard, we can help you set that up. Don't worry about that. That's what we're a done with you service and a coaching service inside Success School. So if you want to have a chat with us, just jump on our website, startsuccessschool.com, and we would love to help you out with this. Steph, do you want to bring it home here, part 3, delivery and retention?
Yes. So Alex Hormozy talks about this a lot. He says, if you're only constantly focusing on attracting new clients, you're always going to get stuck at the same income level. I think this is actually where most people do get stuck at the same income level.
Yep.
They do one of two things. They either rely solely on retention, as in like 90% of their income comes from clients who have stayed for years, which is amazing. Congratulations on building something that is so good that clients stay for years, but they have no focus on bringing in new clients, which is a lot of businesses we speak to. Or they're really, really great at bringing in new clients and they focus a lot on that, but they suck at retention. And so the people are going out the back end. Both of these things, either one of them will cause you to plateau in your income. So if you're plateaued in your income, it's probably for this reason. When we look at retention and retaining clients long term, it starts on day one. In fact, it starts really before that. It starts in the sales process, but it really starts in day one. So it starts on your onboarding process. So you want to let people know on day one of your offer, day one of your program, day one of your service that, hey, this is step one in a, 6-10 step process. And like that same thing goes on. We've had beauty treatments. Tim, that's why your skin looks so good. So many beauty treatments. And they'll be like, cool, in order for this to pay off, you really need to come every fortnight for at least 6 sessions in order to see the results, right? So they preface that on day one. You don't get to the end of the appointment on day one and be like, oh, suddenly I need to book you in for your next appointment. And I need to book you in for your next appointment. You just let them know day one. So retention is all about like guiding the path from the beginning. And your first 30 days of working with somebody is really going to set the tone. If they're really happy with you in the first 30 days, they're likely to become a lifelong client or definitely a long-term retaining client. But if you drop the ball, you miss a session, you arrive late, you don't reply back to an email fast enough, the first 30 days is where they're making a decision about whether or not this is the thing that they thought that they invested in. And so you've really got to get that right.
Awesome. We're going to talk about keeping clients now. So I'm just going to talk from the angle of our business specifically and what we do. So we typically will book someone's onboarding session the next day or like pretty soon after, so we can start getting them a quick win. From there, the cadence that we've set up in our business, we do a weekly check-in where they submit their KPIs to our client success team. From there, the client success team will go through, give them any help from there. We also have a monthly one-to-one session on top of that, which is pre-booked. So there's always the touch point of give us your numbers, we'll tell you what to do. Jump on the one-on-one calls. And really that kind of sets the tone for having a really great relationship with people. At the end of every month, we do like a big data gathering. So it's like, what's your wins been? How's your revenue? What are you struggling with? How can we help? And we review that as a team and add that to our teaching curriculum from there.
There's something magical that can happen in your business where your clients become your biggest advocates. I mean, this obviously leads into referrals, which for some of you listening to this, your entire business is built this way. But for a lot of you, you're not doing this very well. And so referrals really, they're an art. They really are an art form. Referrals work best at the peak moment, okay? Most people try and systemize referral processes, and they can work. I think for service businesses, sometimes systemized referral can work. But I think the best time to ask for a referral is when the client is most happy. The client is probably most happy at their peak win. So I'll give you an example. In our program, we might ask for a referral at a peak moment. One of those peak moments might be while we're at a successful retreat and everybody is having the most profound breakthroughs and having the best time. And then we might say hey, if you have a friend that wants to be in this room, let us know. And they're going to just refer their friends because this is sick. We should all be doing this together. Inside of our coaching business, inside of our gym, it might have been at the point where they weighed in and they realized they'd lost 7 kilos and hit their goal weight. That's a perfect opportunity for somebody to ask for a referral. Do you have any other friends who need this? Put me in touch. Let's have a conversation about it. But it's at that peak moment. Now, for most of you, you just need to kind of look at your client journey and have a little look at where those peak moments typically happen. Inside Success School, those peak moments for us typically happen within the first 3 months or then at the retreat. And so we don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but we do know that obviously we're fully on board with the fact that within Success School, within their first 3 months, they hit their first 90-day goal, usually earlier than 90 days. And at that point, they're thrilled, they're stoked. Oh my God, this investment has been so worth it. And they're most likely to refer their friends at that point. So that's where we ask for it.
Yeah, let's get into just some quick hiring stuff here. So I just want to remind you guys of the hiring ladder in business. So typically what you'll hire first for is virtual assistant admin help. Then from there, it will be delivery. The great thing about hiring for delivery is typically your results will increase because you're hiring someone and their sole job is to get the other person a result, a coach or a client success manager or whatever it is. So typically that's a great hire. And what that does is that frees you up time to invest in marketing and further growing the business from there. And jumping from just you as the coach or operating the service to multiple people is a hard jump because there is some outlay that has to come with that and there is a degree of risk with it. But essentially, you just want to get yourself off the tools so you can focus on the other stuff and hire people into this.
Hey, Tim, let's talk about something real quick because I hear a lot of people doing this. Yeah, but like they've tried hiring people. They tried bringing in someone for delivery. Like we've even got a client, Dan, he's owns a plumbing business.
Yeah.
And he's been trying to bring plumbers in. And there's this thing that goes here, but they're just not as good as me.
Yeah.
They're just not as good as me.
Yeah.
So talk to that because like, of course not.
Yeah.
Of course not.
Yeah.
But why does that also make them better?
When you hire someone to do a sole role, so sales, marketing, whatever it is, that is their like 100% thing that they're focusing on. Whereas you're wearing all the hats as the entrepreneur. So you're the marketer, you're the HR person, you're trying to lead the growth team, you're trying to do sales, you're trying to do all the things. And typically like most founders, regardless of what niche you're in, they just think they're the best at delivering their thing, which is great because it's got them where they've got to. But I know that, you know, even our coaches are better than me at coaching. A lot of the time because they have more patience. I might have more knowledge on marketing, but they are better coaches. They can support people better. And it's really like a limiting belief that a lot of people have that no one can do it as good as them. But for me, in my head, it's like if someone can do it 80% as good as me, I'm happy to palm it off. You know, typically in our business, we are pretty awful at sales. And that's been great because we've found a lot of great salespeople recently, which has been fantastic. They are out there, but I think it is a limiting belief. Do you want to bring this home and close this out for us?
Look, guys, the businesses that are signing 20 to 40 new clients a month, and honestly, that is like very, very doable. They're not doing anything exotic. They're not doing anything wild. They're not doing anything different. They've just got a lead source that works. They're probably running some Facebook ads. They probably have some consistent leads, consistent new inquiries coming in all the time. They have a follow-up system that is consistent so that people aren't slipping through the cracks and maybe is a little persistent as well. And they've got a delivery model that doesn't collapse under pressure. So, you know, like a lot of the time when we speak to service businesses, you know, we talk about turning that tap on. We talk about turning on the marketing tap. If we can get you a ton of new inquiries and you don't have the ability to deliver, you say yes to all these inquiries and you do a shit service and you get a bad rep, and then it's just a really, really bad time for everyone involved. And so this isn't just about learning how to be great at marketing. This is also about setting your business up so that when we do hit gold on your marketing, you actually have the ability to deliver to the standard that you want to deliver to.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening to this episode. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button. If you're a service business and you want help with this, jump on our website and book a scale session. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.